Okay, let me just try it out. I will try my best to actually provide the information that I was planning on, and just tell you a little bit about the social Betwork, the platform that we were creating in the course of the last couple of months, and what we actually believe to be a new solution for the Web 3.0, so for the new metaverse, and what we think is going to be hopefully the future of the betting and gambling platforms on the web. So we have created a transparent, fair, and social technology-driven platform and a unique gambling infrastructure that is owned and developed by its users and stakeholders. So the idea that we had in mind is basically that the gambling and betting platforms nowadays have a number of problems that we would like to resolve and to offer the people who are interested in just online-based entertainment a new and exciting opportunity to get to know the gambling and the betting world a little bit better, and to understand that the previous issues that the people might have had with the gambling and betting platforms might actually be resolved through the technical progress. So far, we have tried to identify the existing issues that we believe are the following. First of all, the gambling and betting platforms are centralized. They're expensive. They only concentrate on sports and illegally achieved gains. The atmosphere of negativity and pressure on participants really makes it often a very unpleasant experience for the people who are trying to connect to the betting platforms. There is also a high probability of disproportionate losses and massive addiction for users, meaning that a lot of people actually do get addicted to the betting and gambling platforms, and that can actually become a problem. And it is the main reason for the regulation that the state usually imposes over the betting platforms. There is also high risk of money laundering and corruption due to enormous gains that the industry actually achieves. So it is a big problem for the people who want a fair and fun experience to participate in the structure that is actually offering a very viable, very understandable basis of money laundering structuring. So we believe that this could be actually one of the main issues that the gambling platforms are currently facing. We also know that it has a terrible public image, and it is pretty unpopular, especially with families with children, also women, and we believe that young people who, by today actually comprise a large part of the group that is currently populating the online platforms are not very fond of gambling either. So we believe that the complete lack of social interaction is something that prevents gambling and betting platforms of becoming more popular, and it actually kind of destroys the business model that the platforms have been pursuing so far. So what we have decided is to develop a pretty innovative solution, and we call it social Betwork. You obviously understand that it's closely connected to the social network. So we are trying to make it a fun experience already through the name. But apart from that, we have actually prepared a number of technical innovations. So what we have developed is an interaction model, not just among the gamblers, but also through the social media, involving followers and influencers, involving fans, and involving their idols. So we want the betting and the gambling to become a social media experience more than the actual platform-based gambling experience. We also want it to become decentralized, obviously. We want the global outreach and communication to be our guiding light in connection here too. And we wanted limited betting amounts to avoid the addiction risk that is so often cited as the reason as to why the gambling platforms are actually not the most popular use case on the internet right now. We also want kind of like a more positive spin on the gambling platforms becoming a leitmotif for the people to actually join and to participate. So what we have developed is an innovative token structure that allows the tokens to be used as gambling collateral, meaning I think that you would all agree that betting on money is usually something that prevents a lot of us from participating in larger platforms that all of you know, such as sports betting platforms or race betting platforms, because money, gambling money is a dangerous and sometimes very, very risky enterprise that we all want to avoid. Betting on tokens, specifically when we limit the amount of tokens that can be implemented, seem to us like a much better approach. In addition to that, you're also able, through the DApp, through the decentralized app used for it, you're also able to connect to your friends on a global level, meaning if you go out in Munich and your friends go out in Barcelona or in Madrid, you will still have the option of connecting through the DApp and actually betting your tokens that you have on your phone, as opposed to betting cash, which could be quite cumbersome if you're in different cities. So our idea was actually to create a special kind of network or a special kind of bond where people would actually have fun betting and gambling with the tokens. And we also set a limit that you could not lose more than $50 at a time, making it specifically difficult to actually develop an addiction or fraud risk in connection to the specific bet. What we specifically wanted to achieve on top of that was the idea of the active engagement of the users. So instead of passively watching the events, the users are actively drawn in by means of getting involved into the actual course of action. So let's say you are watching a YouTube video. So how much more fun could it be if the influencer could actually involve the users participating in the stream to bet on the outcome? Let's say you all know probably Mr. Beast, I'm assuming. So recently, Mr. Beast has established a bet online where during a live pursuit of a special gambling enterprise, he has set a special trophy that would amount to a huge amount of money when people would be betting on the real winner or on the correct winner live. So that means that he is kind of already getting involved into this idea. And we believe that we can definitely support similar ideas in the future where people are not necessarily betting on YouTube, but it can also be Twitch, it can be other social media platforms. But our idea is exactly that. Instead of just letting your followers and your fans just watch the content just pass by you, we want the people to get actively involved with it and kind of like maybe hopefully develop the next level of interaction in connection here too. So our global network component is actually what made us think of the solution in the first place. With regard to the token structure, I just want to leave a couple of words on that. We are thinking about the regular ERC20 token, utility token, obviously with staking and liquidity mining solutions involved. And we have also put quite an effort into having it audited and verified. And we believe that the token, most of all, and first of all, needs to offer security to the users to make sure that no money loss risk is directly involved and that the users are confident that the event always stays fun and sure for them. And just to finalize, I'm coming to the end of my presentation. I just wanted to give you a couple of other examples that we kind of thought of and hope that would serve as an inspiration for you to think about a possible use of the platform in connection to fun and entertaining betting experience. So imagine your band is playing a concert, and instead of just sending a message on social media, you can bet against your fans and followers that you will, let's say, get 1,000 people to attend. So instead of announcing it and kind of waiting for people to show up, you can actually bet against your fans and tell them, well, let's see if we get 1,000 people in. I think we will. And people might bet with you or against you. So that could be one of the use cases. So you can also stream an esports event on Twitch or on YouTube and let people bet on the winner, as mentioned. You can build your own platform and use the token as pretty much basis for any application that you can think of that would enable your users to create a fun and entertaining competition that could lead to more and more engagement. And I think that those examples kind of like just set a general framework for what we're trying to achieve. We think that the time of boring and risky betting websites has already passed, and that it is now just the right moment for developing the new type of betting and gambling websites that would be able to provide a fun and entertaining message for everyone. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Alex. That was super, super interesting. So betting meets the social network, quite interesting approach. One question that came to my mind, maybe I just like starting off with a question round. How are you expecting will like the limiting of the amount you can lose reduce the risk of getting addicted to like this kind of behavior? What is the psychology behind this approach?
We actually think that the addiction results from dissatisfaction in existing platforms. So we believe that the psychology approach actually does not result from the very fun and entertaining experience that people receive on traditional betting platforms. We believe that it is more due to this kind of spite or vengeful feeling that you cannot let the platform win over you when you're trying so hard and you consider yourself so smart. So what we want to actually create is a positive atmosphere around that. So if you have an opportunity to win a little bit of money and you have had a positive experience, a lot of times you would consider it actually something that has just made your day. We kind of speculate that your feeling afterwards would develop itself more towards kind of like a positive spin. So we hope that the people would just feel that they have, found something that they're having fun at. And even if they keep playing and then they lose, we just want them to kind of feel rewarded with the great time that they had online or betting and speaking with their friends, because it is definitely more about communication than the actual monetary outcome in the system. So I do believe that kind of like the positive emotion asset that you receive through participating in the event would kind of reward you in addition to possibly winning, or maybe substitute the lost money that you might have suffered in the course of the event. So in both cases, we really hope that people would find themselves happier than they were before they joined the platform, independently whether they win or lose. That's kind of like our main motivation.
It's amazing. Win or lose, no matter what, like positive feeling as an outcome. Super cool.
This approach. Let's just think about it this way. If you go out with your friends to drink, you spend money on drinks, even inviting your friends, but it's not the money that you consider lost. It's the money you consider kind of invested in your well-being. And if somebody else buys you a drink, you consider it a great time because the person was interested in you. It considered you worthy of money being spent on you. So in both cases, you kind of feel comfortable about yourself, and that's actually what we're trying to achieve through our platform.
Nice, great approach. So we have a few more questions coming up. So first question would be, what escrow service will you base this in blockchain ecosystem, as betting will involve holding money and release later when validated?
Yeah, we have, it's a pretty technical question, so thanks for that. We have an automatic market maker, and we also have a liquidity pool that would serve, so our internal liquidity pool will serve as an escrow service. So a small percentage of the betting amount or of the event spent amount would be assigned or transferred to the liquidity pool, which would then serve as an escrow service in the connection here too.
Cool. And second question, same same attendee, is what you described about betting system and Web3 already out there, provided as SDK API from your side? Just to make sure I understand it correctly. If so, how can I find more information?
It is. As a matter of fact, I'm not sure you told me not to advertise our platform too much because we're definitely very, very eager to cooperate with Unit. And I myself have had an extraordinary experience cooperating with Unit on multiple levels prior. So of course, I would be more than happy to involve Unit on on our platform in any type of form. But in case you guys are really interested, a very small introduction to our actual platform. It's called wallfair.io. So wall and then fair, FAIR.io, and you can find more information about that. We definitely have an API that is already connectable to other platforms where we will be able to both create your own NFT platforms, buy our tokens, set up your own events. So all these services are available on our website.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much. So yeah, thank you also from Vasin, who was asking the questions. So yeah, guys, any other questions? Feel free to just drop them in the chat. We have 10 more minutes or 9 more minutes to go. Mary O'Connor is asking, can you share the website? By the way, Alex, are you also reading the chat at the moment? So
yes, I am.
Yeah, cool, easy.
I'm just posting it in the chat. So I appreciate your questions, guys. And I think I might have sent it to you, though. Sorry.
Yeah, I just gonna repost it. No worries.
Again, what we want is basically to create kind of like an atmosphere. I just want to summarize in the 2 minutes that I want to take in addition of the time. What we want is kind of like to repurpose this dark and ominous betting infrastructure that is right now what a lot of people imagine when they think about, like the soccer mafia or, like the illicit activities of a lot of larger gambling websites that have unfortunately made the headlines in the course of last years. It's an $800 billion industry, and we're quite concerned that somebody, does not take a step to kind of like maybe develop something new, something original, something that might create a new approach to the betting infrastructure as it exists today. I think that we might just, still be threatened by this large conglomerate in the future. And I believe that that's quite the opposite of what Unit is trying to achieve. And that's why we kind of like tried to make the goals of Unit our own and to develop a solution for a relatively problematic sector today that might offer a bit of perspective for the future platforms and for the future users. So I do think that we're at least trying to stay in the line of purposes that Unit is pursuing, and that we are trying to change the global industry that not a lot of people, try to touch just based on the negative image and the high level of regulations that has been implemented so far. So in case you guys support the view, the vision, or the goal, just feel free to maybe message me online or reach out on LinkedIn. So my last name is Berstein, Brstin, and I would be more than happy to provide you with more information.
Super interesting. Maybe a question about like the competitors, like the traditional competitors. Are they already noticing you? What are their reactions, and what are you expecting? Like any like attacks or I don't know, because I mean this is like, as you mentioned, a really big market, and there are already like some big players in that market. What are you expecting?
No, of course. Like if we're talking about the global competitors, they definitely are thinking about probably entering the token market. Obviously, they are interested in blockchain solutions. As far as the future of the betting market goes, obviously they do not miss on the blockchain solutions. as the future of every industry, and thus the betting industry as well. However, they're in a very comfortable position to make such enormous amounts of money that, legally, clearly, but to be in a comfortable position where they can pretty much afford, not to take into account any competition that, they might encounter in the next 20 years, because it's kind of like, the car companies. Of course, Tesla came out of nowhere, but, for the 20 or 30 years before, they kind of like didn't consider any innovations in the automotive industry because they were living or, probably thriving on a very high level. And that's kind of a little bit parallel of the betting companies right now. They don't really care so much about possible competition or about new developments in that area. They just feel that they're so mighty and so comfortable today that they don't really need to do much. And I really, truly hope that we might teach them a small lesson. I'm not sure if we'll be able to, really show them who's the boss like Tesla did, but I do hope that we would be known as the little Tesla of the gambling industry in the near future.
Sounds very, very disruptive. I am just like thinking about Nokia was more or less back in the days telling some similar things, or Kodak as well. We'll see. But do you have like anything like noticed that they are already working on something similar, or like in any way?
Actually, no, because I think they they see the competition more coming from the direction of online casinos, and it's kind of like a relatively stable market. So online casinos are obviously also plenty, but I believe that they see it more as something that exists outside of their realm. So they kind of try to actually separate themselves from the casino business that is available to the gambling industry online, or to the clients of the gambling industry online. I think that until today, nobody has really tried to look into the tokenization of the actual betting. I think that we might belong to the actual pioneers of the industry, and that's why I hope, or I don't know if we should hope about that, but I believe that the gambling giants do not consider this technology as something that is already a competition at this stage. I think that they are considering it possibly a future threat, but I don't believe that they take it seriously just based on the lack of use cases that they would see as a viable option, for their competition to actually take over their client base. That's just the feeling that I have.
Yeah, very interesting. Thank you very much for your answer. I think, do we have any other questions? Otherwise, I have another question.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. I will just go ahead. There are like always these rumors that in the big bet players in the software, there are like some like beneficial mistakes to one party, if you know what I mean. So first question, is that like somehow provable to be true? And if yes, what is like the incentive to do something like more transparent, like with, for example, smart contracts, which would make it much more transparent, like for all parties? What's your take on this?
That's actually exactly, like, this motivation is exactly why we wanted to create our platform. That is somehow that has been something that we've been really concerned about, and actually this in disproportionate or incorrect setting of the bets through bookmakers is exactly what motivated us to create a peer-to-peer structure that would allow the setting of the bet per smart contract, as opposed to a bookmaker who is a supervisory instance that may or may not be objective in this case. So what you needed in this constellation was kind of a structure that would allow the players to actually have a proper agreement just between themselves. So exactly what a blockchain, what a decentralized structure does is create a peer-to-peer agreement where people would be able to, just concentrate on whatever they decide to be, the important part of the bet. So if they decide that, some aspect is more important than others, then why should a bookmaker actually, offer them something that they are not looking for? And that was exactly our motivation behind creating a platform. So I think that with the help of tokenization and with the help of smart contracts, as you mentioned, we will slowly move towards, just a just and objectifiable platform that would only take into consideration the interests of the players and no one else's. And that's what we hope to see in the near future by disrupting $800 billion more dollar industry, which offers still a lot of billions to be distributed.
Cool, that's amazing. Thank you so much. Was a great session. I think we'll have to wrap up. Thank you so much again. And I would say very interesting developments ahead in this particular industry. And all the best for your project. Fingers crossed. Thank you, Alex.
Yeah, thanks so much, guys, for your attention, and I really appreciate the invitation. Thanks, Yip. Thanks, Dominic. And any questions, please feel free to reach out. Yip also have my contact.
Maybe you can also share your LinkedIn link in the chat, so everyone can connect and reach out, or whatever suits you, like email or LinkedIn, whatever you prefer. Cool.
Okay.
Amazing.